Do you ever wish you could use one hand to put information into a clinical system rather than a keyboard? Well, I'm going to show you a piece of kit that may allow you to do that, and whether it does so effectively. Let's tech enhance your primary care and learning. If this is the first time we're meeting, I'm Dr. Gandalf of EGP Learning, where I look at supporting you with technology-enhanced primary care and learning. And in this episode, I'm going to show you a piece of kit I've been using for the past few months to see if it is effective in a clinical setting. It's something called the Tapstrap. So this is it. And we're going to show you my little walkthrough guide of it. As always, if you've got any questions, feel free to contact me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the podcasting platforms as always. Make sure you subscribe to get all this content first and foremost. And, well, shall we get straight to it? So this is the Tapstrap. Comes in a nice little case. Some of you may have seen my unboxing video I did a few months back. And then since then I've been having a good go with it. So to open the case a bit more, this is what it looks like. Kind of like a pair of nunchucks, isn't it? Well, it's kind of handy, literally. So you can put it out like that. The case itself is the charger module for it. So it's got a little charging port just here and a USB that pops in there. And it works quite quickly and effectively, so charges up within about an hour or so I tend to find. In terms of using it, you need to put it on your hand. So I said it kind of looks like a nunchuck. So thumb goes in there, and then you slide your fingers in. This one's still got the tag on because it's a display module. And that's it. So that's the keyboard. So you can put it on your right hand or your left hand. The bottom part here is a little laser interface which acts like a mouse. So if you want to interface it with a computer, you just drag it across and it will drag the mouse across. The reason why I can't show you on my computer, we've just had our computer refresh, and unfortunately the IT department has basically locked me out from using this particular thing. But it does work quite well in that kind of way. However, the question you're probably asking is how on earth to use this as a keyboard? Well, effectively you tap, as the name sounds. So in each finger it's got motion sensors that register every time that you tap the fingers onto a hard surface, and then based on the combination that you use, you get different letters. So for example, A is thumb down, so like that, and it will type A. And there's various different combinations and stuff that allow you to use the hand, so most of the comments are a combination of different fingers at the same time, and you can use spaces, that kind of stuff, so all fingers, space, that kind of thing. And that allows you to type. It comes with an app that allows you to learn how to use it, so it's called Tap Genius, and there's a separate part called Tap Academy as well to try and show you how to use this kind of method and develop it. And it's effectively muscle memory. It's like what keyboard typing is really. So rather than going do, if you actually practice, so if you guys want to see one of my earlier videos on the system called Keybar, which I really recommend if you want to learn to type faster, then it's effectively training your brain to use the muscle memory to type faster. And once you've got the syncing kind of part of it down in terms of which keys do which letters, it's actually quite fun. But is it effective? Well, from a tech point of view, it fulfills all the criteria in terms of IP ratings and that kind of stuff. So you can wipe it down with like alcohol syrettes and that kind of stuff after clinic use from an infection control point of view. And you can type with practice at a reasonable speed. So I've had this for a few months. I can type with my right hand about 25 words a minute, left hand a little bit slower at 20 words a minute. You may be thinking, why on earth would I even try and do it with my left hand? Well, the reason being, if you do try and do it with your left hand, your right hand's free, still to use examining and stuff. So I have actually tried doing this in certain situations when I've been having patients in the room. So slipping it on and just tapping my fingers away and stuff to see if it was effective in terms of using it. The problem I found is it's the complex nature of it. It's trying to concentrate on what the patient's saying and typing at the same time, and it didn't really work, so I kind of abandoned it fairly quickly. Did try again once I've been a bit more accustomed to typing with it, and again, unfortunately, I just couldn't handle trying to keep an eye on what the patient was telling and explaining to me, and using my hands in the background, just tapping away like this. So I tended to do it on my lap, and the other problem I had is that using your lap or your knee or something doesn't always give you the decent haptic feedback in order to register the letters effectively. You do need to use pretty much a hard surface like a table, and as you can imagine, tapping away like that doesn't really go down so well mid-consultation. In terms of using it in place of a keyboard, I could definitely see its applications in terms of if it had a geo interface, so effectively if you could use it in the air like a lot of the VR controllers nowadays allow you to do, that would be really useful, and I believe the newer version allows you to do that. But currently with this one it doesn't seem to work so well trying to do that, and like I said, sometimes even registering with it as a mouse it doesn't pick up effectively. It does depend on the surface that you're using, that's what I have found, so different surfaces do make a difference. Would I use it? No, purely simply because I can still type a lot faster than this will allow me to type, and as many of you know, when it comes to productivity, one of the things I say to a lot of people is one of the quickest ways to make an impact in your clinical time is to learn to type faster, or to put the information down quicker, like using dictation methods and that kind of stuff, if that's how you're so inclined. But it is fun, I have to admit. I've really enjoyed having it, and I think using it in a clinical setting may not be effective, but I can definitely see how certain types of people would find this really attractive. So clearly you've got one hand, but also actually if you're not the type of person that likes the keyboard layouts and stuff, you know, not everybody can get on with QWERTY or some of the other different types of layouts and stuff, and you know, two-handed typing isn't something that works with them, whereas actually this method could work quite effectively in terms of how their brain registers and the spatial aspects of tapping with your fingers. So yeah, I think it's a nice piece of kit. It's not the kind of piece of kit I could recommend to use in a clinical setting just because of the time aspect. However, if the haptic feedback was a lot better and able to register on softer surfaces, then I think actually it'd be quite cool and maybe something to consider. But you'd have to be very good and very practiced at it, and I guess I'm just not good enough, if I'm being honest. I've had it for a reasonable length of time and I can't seem to get myself past the 25 words per minute no matter how much I kind of train with it. So yeah, nice piece of kit, but I'm afraid clinical use, not for me anyway. I'd like to thank the company for sending me this. It was completely sent to me for free and they've not paid me for this review or anything like that. I will be sending the item back to them, but I have enjoyed using it, I must admit. But yeah, anyway guys, if you've got any questions about this item or other kind of methods of using information to get into the systems, as you know, I talk about typing faster, productivity, but also dictation and that kind of stuff, feel free to contact me and things. As always, I'm available on all the different platforms, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube as ever, and podcasting platforms. Love it if you subscribe, so ring the bell, ding, and make sure you leave a review. Really appreciate your comments and stuff. And as always guys, I'm here to try and help save you and your patients time by tech enhancing your primary care and learning. Catch you in the next episode.